Hello and welcome to this attack item explanation guide. Today we'll have a deep dive in every single attack item in Mobile Legends. We'll discuss what bonuses each item provides, explain how the unique effects work and how you can maximize the effect of it. There will also be information about which item goes well with each other and what items you should use or avoid on certain heroes. If you learn about adjusting your build accordingly to the team composition of the enemy, you can be a lot more effective and therefore increase your win rate significantly. In this video you learn everything about all attack items to create your own build so you can play your hero on the most optimized way possible. If you want information about a certain item, you can use the timestamps below. However, I highly suggest you watch the whole video if you want to optimize your attack build and be able to create your own build. Let's give a quick like on the video and let's start with the items. Please keep in mind that Moonton occasionally implements small changes to items for balance purposes. The stats of the featured items are from October 2021. The very first item we'll come across is the Demon Hunter Sword. This item is great to counter high HP heroes. The base stats are plus 35 physical attack and 25% attack speed. If you didn't know yet, all items also have one or more unique components. This means that when you buy the item multiple times, the normal stats will add up, but the unique passive will only be added once. Take this in consideration when creating your build. This item has two unique passives, and the first one will add extra damage to your basic attack. Each basic attack deals 9% of the target's current HP as physical damage. This means the higher the HP is for your target, the more damage the unique passive deals. The damage is capped at 60 damage against monsters, so it isn't very effective to take out jungle monsters. Then we also got a second unique passive, and this will increase your lifesteal by 3% for 5 seconds after every basic attack. The effect lasts up to 5 times, which will add a total of 15% lifesteal. So we know we need to have a high attack speed to receive the most benefits from the unique passives, since this will increase the damage and provide you with the maximum lifesteal earlier on. Therefore, this item goes very well with high attack speed items, like the Corrision Scythe, Windtalker and the Scarlet Phantom. The Corrision Scythe is a very powerful combination since it has similar effects, which I'll go over after this item. The Demon Hunter Sword goes also well with the Golden Staff, since it can activate the unique passives a lot more frequent. But don't include this item in your build without understanding the effects of it. Heroes that benefit from high attack speed can make great use of this item. A few examples are Wanwan, Carry, Claude and Popo and Koopa. The Demon Hunter Sword doesn't add high damage, so if you play a hero that has to rely on high attack damage, I suggest you don't include this item in your build. Also, heroes that don't benefit that much from a high attack speed should avoid this item. Don't pick the Demon Hunter Sword on heroes like Granger, Leslie, Brody, Ruby or Fanny. This item is a great pick if you fight against multiple tank and fighter heroes with a big amount of HP, like Hylas and Belleric. Item number 2 is the Corrision Scythe. This item can bring you the most amount of attack speed of all available items. The base stats of this item are plus 50 physical attack, plus 5% movement speed and plus 25% attack speed. This item also has two unique passives that applies to your basic attack. The first one adds a slow effect to your basic attack of 8% per hit for 1.5 seconds, which stacks up to 5 times. Ranged units only can slow 4% per hit. The second unique passive will add 8% attack speed for 3 seconds for every basic attack you deal. This effect also stacks up 5 times for a total of 40% attack speed. So we know this item adds a big amount of attack speed as well as an extra effect to your basic attack. The unique effects of this item are kind of similar to the Demon Hunter Sword and are therefore also a great combination to include in your build. The high attack speed can help to activate the effect often and they both add an extra ability to your basic attack. If we analyze what kind of heroes are great for the Corrision Scythe, we know that the melee heroes can make greater use of this item than ranged heroes, since their slowing effect isn't reduced. Wanwan and Carry are the only marksman heroes that really benefit from this item, since they need very high attack speed. Other heroes that can include this item are Roger, Argus, Leomord and Aulus, since the slow effect helps to chase the enemy. This item only adds a lot of attack speed, but the physical attack bonus isn't that high and it also doesn't add critical chance. Therefore, don't include it on heroes that rely on high physical damage, like Layla, Leslie, Bruno and Granger. Overall, it's a decent item on certain heroes, especially when they benefit from the slow effect or need a big amount of attack speed. The next item is called the Golden Staff, and this is probably the most difficult one to understand. The base stats are just 65 physical attack and 15% attack speed, but the item also has two unique passives. The first one will stop making you deal critical hits. Each percent critical chance will be converted into 1% attack speed. Then the second unique passive will be activated after 2 basic attacks. The third one will increase the damage by 100% and all effects get triggered twice. As an example, you can see that Carrie's passive is triggered for 3 times instead of just 1. This also works for the extra damage effect of the Demon Hunter Sword. So we know this item helps to trigger the effect more often, but your hero can't deal critical hits anymore. If you want to include this item in your build, you shouldn't focus on critical chance items since it will be converted into attack speed. However, this item is great in combination with the Demon Hunter Sword and also the Corrision Scythe. High attack speed helps to activate the effect of the Golden Staff more frequently. So heroes with an extra effect to their skills are most suitable for this item. Heroes like Claude, 1-1, Cylon and Carrie can make great use of the Golden Staff. You shouldn't pick this for heroes that rely on critical hits like Leslie, Layla, Bruno and Yusun Shin. The Golden Staff isn't the most used item, but can be a strong item to include in a build of certain heroes. The following item is called Wind of Nature. The base stats are plus 30 physical attack, plus 20% attack speed and plus 10% physical lifesteal. These aren't very strong bonuses, but it's a unique component that makes you want this item. This item doesn't have a unique passive, but a unique active instead. After buying this item, you get an extra skill that can be activated every 70 seconds. Activating this will make you immune to all physical damage for 2 seconds. However, if you use this item on a non-marksman hero, the time will only be 1 second. This item can be very useful against a team with a lot of physical damage based heroes. There aren't specific items that go well with the Wind of Nature. However, there are a few heroes that can make great use of this item. You should only pick this when you play a marksman, since the effect will last 2 seconds instead of just 1. Also, the squishy heroes that have a great ultimate can make use of the Wind of Nature. A few examples are Wen, Claude and Irritol. The Wind of Nature isn't used that often, but it can be a very strong pick if you match up against a team that has 4 or 5 physical attack damage based heroes. This item can really help you to stay alive longer in teamfights. Then we have the next item, which is the most newest one, and it's called the War Axe. This offensive item adds 45 physical attack, 550 HP and 10% cooldown reduction. That isn't bad, but the passive will increase the strength of your hero even more. Every time you do damage, you gain 9 physical attack and 3 physical penetration for 3 seconds. This effect stacks up to 8 times for a total of 72 physical attack and 24 physical penetration. When having 8 stacks, you also gain 50% movement speed. You can see the amount of stacks over here. Try to get 8 stacks before attacking an enemy, so your damage is maximized. The unique effect only adds 33% of the bonuses when playing a marksman, mage or support hero. This item goes well with almost every item. You can pick it together with items like the Corrision Scythe, Haas Claw and Blade of Despair. This item is a great pick for almost any physical based fighter or assassin. Heroes like Belmont, Exborg, Hayabusa, Alucard and Alpha will be very happy when you pick this item. Don't pick it when you play an other role than a fighter or assassin, since the reduced bonus makes this item a lot weaker. Overall, it's a great item to increase your damage by a big amount for fighters and assassin heroes. The next one is a less offensive item and is called Malefic Roar. The base stats will only add 60 physical attack, but it has 2 unique passives. The first one will add 35% physical penetration. The second one will add another 0.05% physical penetration for every physical defense the enemy has. This is capped at 20%, which is reached when the enemy has 400 physical defense. So this item can add a total of 55% physical penetration at max, which is a huge amount. You should pick this item if you match up against a team that has a big amount of physical defense. It goes well with almost every item, like the Berserker Fury, Scarlet Phantom or the Blade of Despair. The heroes that should pick this item are mostly marksman heroes, since they can attack the tanky heroes from a distance, while your tank take the hits. Heroes like Clint, Irrital, Beatrix and Yisun Shin, but also Aldous can include this item in the build when facing a team with a big amount of physical defense. It's a great pick against high defense heroes like Grog and Johnson. I suggest you avoid this item when you play a hero that doesn't rely on high attack damage, or heroes from a close distance like Carrie, Ruby, Exborg and Nathan. Overall, it's a useful item that you should pick when the enemy team has too much physical defense. This item can make a huge change in your DPS in this kind of situations. Next item, Haas Claw. This item increases your sustainability since it adds the most amount of physical lifesteal of all available items. The base stats are only plus 70 physical attack, but this item also has two unique passives. The first one adds 20% physical lifesteal. The second unique passive will add another 50% where your HP drops below 50%. That's a total of 35% physical lifesteal, which is a huge amount. This item goes well with items that increases your DPS, so you gain more HP every second. Choose this item in combination with items like the War Axe, Berserker's Fury or Blade of Despair. Heroes that mainly use their basic attack to deal damage can include this item in the build. Heroes like Leomord, Moskov, Layla, Bruno, Irrital, but also Ruby are perfect examples of heroes that love this item. I suggest you don't pick it if you play a hero that doesn't deal high damage with basic attack, like Cho, Khalid, Hayabusa and Grandeur. It's a great item for some marksman heroes to increase their sustainability. Then another item that is great for a lot of marksman heroes is the Berserker's Fury. This item is a very offensive item and can increase your damage a lot. The base stats are not bad, since buying this item provides your hero with 65 physical attack and 25% critical chance. This item also has two unique passives. The first one adds plus 40% critical damage. So instead of 200%, your critical hit now deals 240% damage, which is a huge amount. The second unique passive will increase your total physical attack by 5% for 2 seconds when dealing a critical hit. This item is very strong when you got a high percentage of crit chance. Therefore it goes very well with the Windtalker, Scarlet Phantom and the Blade of Despair to increase its damage effectively. The Berserker Fury also goes well with heroes that mainly deal damage with their basic attack and benefit from high critical chance. Most marksman heroes like Leslie, Layla, Moskov, Irrital and Yisun Shin are perfect examples of heroes where you can include the Berserker's Fury in their build. For this item also applies that you shouldn't pick it when your hero doesn't deal its main damage with basic attack. Don't pick it when using heroes like Halberd, Exborg, Paquito and Benedetta. Overall, this is a very strong item that you definitely need on most marksmen to obtain a deadly basic attack. Next, we have the Endless Battle. This item has one of the best base stats and also a very strong unique passive. The Endless Battle adds 250 HP, 65 physical attack, 10% physical lifesteal, 10% cooldown reduction and 5% movement speed. Then we also have two passives and the first one makes this item so powerful. This passive makes you deal extra damage after casting a skill. The damage is based on 60% of your physical attack and you'll deal true damage, which means that the hit ignores all defense from enemies. The extra hit will be active until 3 seconds after casting a skill, and the damage has a cooldown of 1.5 seconds. The second passive is a lot easier. It just increases your movement speed by 10% for a small period of time when the first unique passive is activated. So this item can add extra damage after casting a skill. There are two ways you can increase the damage output of this item. The first way is to increase your physical attack, so the damage gets higher. But you can also increase your cooldown reduction, so you can cast skills more often, which leads to activating the passive more frequently. Therefore, this item is a great pick with items like the War Axe, Blade of Despair, Hunter Strike and Bloodlust Axe. If we analyze which kind of heroes can use this item, the heroes with low cooldown skills are the best ones for this item, since it enables you to activate the passive very often. Heroes like Alucard, Leslie, Carrie, Alpha, Joe and Bruno can make great use of the Endless Battle. Don't pick it on heroes with the lack of low cooldown skills, or heroes that don't mainly use their basic attack like Argus, Halberd, Exberg and Masha. I think this item is a great pick for a lot of heroes, and it can especially be powerful if you learn to time 1.5 seconds between your skills, so the effect gets activated as efficiently as possible. Next, we have the Windtalker, which is a great item if your hero needs more attack speed. The base stats are plus 40% attack speed, plus 20 movement speed and plus 10% critical chance. Then we have the unique passives. The first one will add extra magic damage after using your basic attack. This effect gets activated every 3 to 5 seconds, which is based on your total critical chance. The damage is 150 to 362, which is based on your attack speed. This effect deals twice the amount of damage against minions, and it can also be a critical hit. The second unique passive will increase your movement speed by 5% for a short period after activating the first passive effect. This item goes well with items that increase your attack speed and critical chance, since it determines its cooldown and damage. Combine the Windtalker with items like the Corrision Scythe, Berserker Fury and Scarlet Phantom. This item is most useful on heroes with long basic attack range, since it's easier to hit the target. Therefore, you can use this item on several marksman heroes like Bruno, Layla, Clint, Leslie and Beatrix. Don't pick it on heroes that don't mainly build attack speed and critical chance, like Grandeur, Halberd, Benedetta, Khalid and Aldous. It's a great item to increase your DPS on a lot of marksman heroes, and it can also be a decent item on some assassin or fighter heroes. The next item is called the Scarlet Phantom, and it also increases mainly your attack speed and critical chance. The base stats add 13 physical attack, 20% attack speed as well as 25% critical chance. When dealing a critical hit, the attack speed gets increased by 30% and the critical chance by 5%, which lasts 2 seconds. This makes the total bonus plus 30 physical attack, plus 50% attack speed and plus 30% critical chance, which are quite nice bonuses. You need a high amount of crit chance to activate the unique passive often, so therefore I suggest you include items like the Berserker's Fury and Windtalker to maximize your crit chance. Mainly marksman heroes use this item to increase their basic attack damage. You can pick it on heroes like Nathan, Hannibal, Leslie, Bruno and Yisun Shin. Don't pick this item when your hero doesn't mainly use its basic attack to deal damage, like Ruby, Exberg, Paquito and Aldous. The Scarlet Phantom is a very strong item to increase your basic attack damage, which is great in combination with other critical chance items. The next item is the Blade of the Heptaseas, and this one increases your combo damage. The base stats are plus 70 physical attack and plus 250 HP. We also find 2 unique passives, and the first one adds 15 physical penetration to your hero. The second one adds an extra damage to your basic attack when you haven't received or dealt any damage. The damage is 160 plus 40% of your physical attack. This effect also slows down the target by 40% for 1.5 seconds. This item is great in combination with high attack damage items, since it increases the extra damage of this item. Items like the War Axe, Blade of Despair and Hunter Strike are great items to further increase the damage of the unique passive. This item is mostly used on assassin heroes, since they need to deal a big amount of damage in a short amount of time. Heroes like Hanzo, Hayabusa, Saber, Natalia, but also Jawhead and Aldous can make great use of this item. Don't pick this on heroes that deal continuous damage, since the effect won't get activated often enough. Most marksmen and heroes like Lemort, Terisla and Martis shouldn't pick the Blade of Heptaseas. Overall, it's a must on most assassin heroes and it's most effective early on in your build. The Blade of Despair is the next item I want you to learn about. This item is the most expensive attack item, but it also has one of the best base stats. After buying this item, your hero has an extra 160 physical attack and 5% movement speed. Then it also has a unique passive, which adds 25% physical attack for 2 seconds when dealing damage against an enemy that has less than 50% HP left. This item goes well with almost any attack item, because high physical attack is the basis of a high damage build. You can pick the Blade of Despair with items like the Berserker's Fury, Endless Battle and Blade of Despair. And also almost any physical attack based hero can make great use of this item, since all heroes benefit from high physical attack. Few examples are heroes like Saber, Argus, Benedetta, Ling, Cho and Khalid. There are also a few heroes that don't really need this item, since their strength is not mainly from high physical attack, like Carry. The Blade of Despair is just a fine pick for almost all physical damage based heroes and fits in most builds. The next item is called the Hunter Strike. You get 80 physical attack as well as 10% cooldown reduction after buying this item. Then we also have two unique passives. The first one adds 15 points of physical penetration. The second one increases your movement speed by 50% when dealing 5 times damage against a hero or jungle monster. This speed rapidly decays over time and the effect has an 8 seconds cooldown. The Hunter Strike is mostly used on heroes that have to chase an enemy and is a great pick to increase your cooldown reduction. You can pick it in combination with the War Axe, Endless Battle and Bloodlust Axe to get your cooldown reduction to the maximum of 40%. Fighter heroes benefit the most from this item since they have to chase an enemy to kill it. Heroes like Roger, Lapu Lapu, Yuzong and Alles are the ones you can pick this item on. Don't pick this item on heroes that don't mainly use their basic attack to deal damage, like Granger, Bane, Jawhead and Ruby, since it will be hard to activate the unique passive effect. It's a decent item, but isn't the best pick for most marksman heroes, since it adds no critical chance or attack speed. Just a few items left and the Bloodlust Axe is one of them. This item can increase your sustainability since it heals you very well on certain type of heroes. The base stats are plus 70 physical attack and plus 10% cooldown reduction. It just has one simple but powerful unique passive, plus 20% spell vamp. So this item does increase the HP you gain when casting skills. For some heroes this is way more useful than physical lifesteal, since not all heroes use their basic attack as their main source of damage. Because this item recovers HP when casting skills, it's best in combination with cooldown reduction items, so you can cast your skills more frequently and restore more health. Use this item in combination with the War Axe, Endless Battle or Hunter Strike to decrease your cooldown on skills. Like you'll understand, this item fits best on heroes that mainly use skill damage. A few examples are Alpha, Ruby, Hayabusa, Granger, Fanny and Xborg. Don't pick it on heroes with skills that have high cooldown or heroes that mainly use basic attack to deal damage, like Bruno, Zilong, Natalia and Argus. The Bloodlust Axe isn't made for every hero, but there are a few heroes that definitely need this item to increase their sustainability. Only 2 more items left and the next one is called Rose Gold Meteor. This item is a defensive as well as an offensive item. The base stats are plus 60 physical attack, plus 30 magic defense and plus 5% physical lifesteal. It only has one unique passive. This will add a shield for 3 seconds when your HP drops below 30%. The shield is between 510 and 1350 points and is based on your level. It also adds 25 magic defense and the effect has a cooldown of 40 seconds. It's a great item to protect yourself from strong magic heroes. This item doesn't have items that go very well with it. Also, there aren't much heroes that definitely need this item, but it fits best on squishy heroes. However, it's a great item to protect yourself from high burst mage damage heroes, like Eudora, Aurora or Veil. So buy it when you match up against a fat mage hero. While it isn't the most used item, it can help you a lot against a team that heavily relies on magic damage or against a very strong high burst mage hero. Then we only have one item left, that's called the Sea Halberd. You'll get 70 physical attack and 25% attack speed after buying this item. It also has one unique passive, which will make your basic attack and skills reduce the HP and shield dragon by 50% for 3 seconds. This effect is very useful against enemies that rely on healing, but there are no specific items that go well with the Sea Halberd. It's really which kind of heroes you match up against that determines the effectiveness of this item. Since it's easier to hit multiple heroes with skills than basic attack, you should pick it on heroes that deal area of effect damage to get the most benefit from the passive effect. Heroes like Hannibal, Alpha, Moskov, Ruby, Beatrix and Claude can make great use of this item. Heroes with no area of effect damage skills like Leslie, Layla or Bruno shouldn't include the Sea Halberd in their build. Remember that this item shouldn't be part of your main build, since the stats aren't that great. I suggest you only pick this item when you match up against multiple heroes that rely on shield and healing effects, like Esmeralda, Uranus, Yuzong, Ruby and Estes. Also, when your team already has multiple anti-heal items, it might not be necessary to get this item too. Overall, it's a useful item to reduce the healing effects, which might help to counter certain heroes. These were all attack items in Mobile Legends. I really hope this information helped you to understand the items and know which ones to pick on certain heroes. If the information helped you, I really appreciate if you hit the like button. Thank you for watching and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.